You should see me on the bed.
Yeah, they see it.
Yeah. No, wait. Not at
Yes. Yeah, no, but Nottingham will be they got new Nino. I'm right around my Nino.
Do I do graffiti? No, I'm not a graffiti artist at all. I'm just a regular ass artist. I happen to enjoy spray paint a lot. It is really fun, and it works really well at the skate park. That was awesome, though. What a good pop at it. We love to see it. Oh. That's the trick, though.
Because like I wanted to go around, like I didn't want to be destructive. I didn't want to be, I wanted to be constructive.
It's just like there's a lack of permanence, I think I think with a lot of like shit with like street art and graffiti, there's like this permanence, there's this like you gotta be there. You gotta be this ever present figure, and I'm more interested in people just being like, oh hey, there it is, than being like this monolith, this kind of like, hey, look at me, and you see the world from a different perspective, like with skateboarding. Like when you start skateboarding, you look like the age-old question, like you look at a set of stairs differently, you look at a curve differently, you look at a safety cone differently, but like I walk down the street and I'll see like a mattress differently, or I'll see,
That's the part.
a piece of plywood that I want to take home and just like fuck around with, or something like that, or I don't know.
The complete impermanence of the BMX side of our skate park is like plywood, and it's fucked, and it's like waterlogged and shitty. That's actually ends up being kind of actually good to paint on. Like I found, like it, and you can go there and work out some problems you might have in your regular. Like I find, if I go out and do this impermanent kind of thing out on the down at the skate spot, I take what I learned there home, and it informs paintings at home. It's a testing ground for a lot of stuff for me, but it's also like, I don't know. It's also about encouraging the kids to kind of like. I want the kids to like see what we do and then be like, oh shit, I can do that. I can do that better than Tom. I'm better than the drawing. Which is totally true, and I'm sure that I would just want them to do that. That's part of it too. Is like some kid can go over your piece, even if he doesn't know who you are or anything. He'll just be like, right, like, fuck you, or like whatever his tag is, or like a dick, whatever. And some kids learn that way, and then they're like, wait, I want to make something cool other than that bullshit. Or like, I'm not calling tags bullshit or graffiti bullshit, but like, I really like when somebody does something that's like subtle. It could have their like tag in it or whatever, but I like when it doesn't look like that at all, and it looks like a big art piece, I don't know.
And like,
I guess I just like it when it's really good. And like, you're like, you can't believe the person did it. That's what I like to see about like street graffiti, like I don't really do graffiti. I just spray paint at the skate park. That doesn't count. But what I like to see about that, like your pieces, like your Hornet, or was it a bee? The giant bee.
Yellow jacket, hornet, bees.
Yellow jacket. Yeah,
I don't know.
I know.
Those are just-
Giant winged bug with the stinger. It was so fucking awesome. I couldn't believe. Like, I mean, I know this guy. That's what I thought when I saw it. I was like, what the fuck?
In that respect too, you know, like I have a respect for just graffiti itself.
Yeah.
You know, I have a respect for the nasty, gross tags and stuff like that. Because
Oh yeah.
like, you know, the same, like there would not be any means of, like there wouldn't be it wouldn't be possible to do that. You know, no one would have ever thought to, all right, I'm just going to go out and make public art and make something look better than it was before. If no one,
Is like.
if there wasn't Taki 183, if there was,
I mean, my
you know,
favorite
Don
is
D,
"fuck you" is my favorite
Fuck
tag.
you.
Anytime I
Fuck you.
see it, I'm like,
It's-
yes. It's always written like a teenager, just pissed.
I feel
It's
like fuck
like
you
Primer
and
Brown.
fuck you and dicks are always like the two main things that anybody
Yeah.
associates with like graffiti.
I don't know. You're right. I have a love-hate relationship with that because it's like, to me, it's like I did the work. I put in all this work to something, and then somebody just like big fucking dog on it, and then it's like.
But we talked about it. Like the same.
It's the same
thing,
freedom
The same freedom
that
that
allows-
allows them to do that. Allows you to do what you do. So you know, it's just it's part of the game. You know?
And that's the street anarchy part. But that's why I also don't go out in the streets and do graffiti. You know, because I'm not trying to get any shit with anybody.
Mhm.
Definitely, like ever. That's not.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about that kind of shit.
Oh,
And I don't know. And that's why, like, when you know people paint over, it's like you can get bummed if it's not very good, but it's like
Mhm.
also just do something else somewhere else. You know. It's like,
yeah, there's plenty of room. You know, I don't see it as like a competition. I see it as more of like a participation. You know.
yeah.
But I mean, not everybody sees it that way, you know. So it's just like if people are, you know, it's everything is it's carte blanche, you know. It's fair game. Everything's fair game. It's kind of the beauty of it.
Oh yeah.
That's what I like about it, and that is, you know, tying into like skateboarding. You know, like the absolute you know. There's anybody. I think about it. Tony Hawk is skateboarding, but
Yeah.
you know, Richie Jackson is also skateboarding. But Rodney Mullen is also skateboarding, and Matt Mumford is also skateboarding. You know, like
Yeah.
all those 3 or 4 people that I just mentioned, their styles and what they do and how they approach using a skateboard, or riding a skateboard, having fun with a skateboard is like they're all different. You know, and everybody sees like spray painting differently, and street art differently, and graffiti differently,
Yeah.
bombing, what have you. So it's like
Yeah, because I totally
It's a
see
gray
skateboarding
area.
in a different light than I think a lot of people.
Mhm.
Like I mean, not that it's better, certainly not, but my vision of skateboarding and stuff, I like
Right.
kind of oddball in a way. It's got it's not like I do like oddball tricks or anything, but I think like my whole perspective of it and like how it blends and everything. It's a little oddball, but like because some people treat it like a jock thing, and they're like they want to be fucking
yeah.
the best, and like I totally understand that because then there's part of you that wants to be the best at it.
Uh-huh.
But you know.
Yeah.
There's other things like painting and stuff like that. You know, like there's other stuff to like get stoked on.
And I think like a big part of, you know, the two things we're talking about, like street art / graffiti, what have you, and skateboarding. You know, there's this big common misconception that like these things are just like, oh man, anybody can just do it. It's just like all encompassing and free. And, you know, you just go there. It's like this unity and blah blah blah. It's like, no man, I don't know what planet you're from. Like there's so much. There's gatekeeping jocks. There's all this bullshit that you got to deal with. You know, you get picked on, you get, you know, messed with. I mean, I kind of lucked out. You know, like
Yeah,
I
you well
get that
if
too
you're good
much, but-
if you're good at skateboarding, like you get picked on way less. You know,
yeah.
like
and-
if the mean kids see you skating good, there's not much they can say to you.
well, I wore pads until I was like 16, just because my parents made me.
Holy fuck, really?
Like, I'm dead serious, like head to toe in pads, bro. Like I mean, I could like.
Did your parents hate you? Oh my god.
My parents loved me very much.
Oh,
but-
I think my parents would have loved to make
But,
me wear a
like,
helmet, but
right,
it
it
just
was-
wasn't even like nobody knew enough to
yeah,
make that happen at that point. You know.
That's a whole story for another day. But there was,
Yeah.
you know, there was a lot of concern coming from the higher ups in my family. You know,
I didn't
when it
even
comes to
say it, like,
skateboarding.
holy fuck.
No, I'm used to it. I've been getting it for 32 years. But it's just like, you know, I never did it for the sake of like, yo, I want to be, like, I want to be better than somebody else. I want to like dominate or be like number
Yeah.
one at this. You know, it was just like something that I like to do. Like I started skating in my basement in 1998 when we had that big microburst, and everything was all flooded or whatever. Like school got postponed.
The Labor Day
The
storm.
Labor Day storm, yeah. During the Labor Day storm, everything was just knocked out, wiped out. So like in the basement, I set up these two pool noodles, or no, it was a pool noodle and these two like little step stools that my parents had. And I thought I like invented a trick. I was in 4th grade. I called it an over/under. It was a hippie jump.
Oh,
It was a hippie jump.
Yeah.
But like I was just like, by the end of this week, I'm gonna be able to like skate and then jump and have my board go under the pool noodle. I'll jump in the air and then I'll land on it the other side. And I finally did. I was just like, this is fantastic, and that was just kind of like where it started. There was no competition. It was just, I was alone, I was skating like cinder blocks and pool noodles and, with my, maybe with, at most 3 or 4 other people, like my buddies, John, Jamie, Jason, the whole ENB crew, and, Brian and those guys, like, but that was a lot of fun. But it was like vacant lots. It wasn't street spots.
Yeah.
It was just little tiny stuff that we just had fun with. There was really no competition. It was just sort of camaraderie, and that's, I guess that's kind of a bubble, but that's always how I've seen it.
you just want to do it, and
Yeah.
if there's this like very accessible thing like a shitty skateboard park ramp or a fucking piece of wood on the side of the road, it's all the better because you're not gonna get in trouble for tagging trash, maybe, but
Yeah. Right.
how can you get in trouble for tagging trash? And that's how the skate park is the same way.
Yeah.
And it's not somebody's property. It's on the curb.
Right.
Done. Not the trash cans. Leave the trash cans alone. But like you said, a mattress.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, I've never done this, but I want to do that. I love that. I love that idea.
My favorite is the nothing mattress meme from a long time ago. You ever seen nothing mattress?
No.
There's a mattress. It just says nothing mattress. Like nothing matters,
Nothing
but it
matters.
says nothing mattress. At first it looks like nothing matters, but yeah, I don't know. But I don't know. I just like little messages.
I think that answers it, right? Because that's the question, right?
And like the materials that I get to make like my own art, that's like to hang on the wall. You know what I mean? Like that's generally from trash. It's like or trash or things
Or recycled, yeah. Or like
recycled
you find a cool
materials.
piece of wood and you're like, that would make a dope.
I'm just like, you gonna throw that out? Okay, like I'll drag it home. Like I used to, folks used to get on me all the time for, you're gonna get termites or whatever.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah,
I used
no.
to bring, and I get it, like bringing stuff home into the house, but like I just like that, that hunter-gatherer kind of element of it. It's not like, oh,
Agreed.
Look at my paint, look at my whatever, but it's about like, look, this was what I found, and this is, it's more raw. It's more like,
I think when
it's
I was
more of a self-expression.
like in high school, this older skater Scott and his sister Margaret, they were really into art. Like they were really knew a lot about art. They were like very smart and they went on to work in the arts and do things like that. So they'd always be like, "Oh, do you know about this stuff?" I'm like, "Fuck no, I don't know shit." I'm from Uyghur, I don't know anything. But they introduced me to like Robert Rauschenberg, and I was reading about him, and it was like he was just like, yeah. And then I just go walk around New York and pick up trash, and I just have a pile of trash, and I just start like assembling it and working on it. And I'm like, what? Yeah, fucking
It's
garbage.
awesome.
Garbage. My first, really when I first started painting, like I had some acrylics, but I didn't have a lot of money. I was like definitely like, like when I started really painting, like I'm gonna say like 21, 22. And I was just using house paint and graphite stick, like dark 6B,
Yeah.
And all my paintings were basically drawings I painted into. But it was all trash. And so many people have told me that they had found my paintings in piles of trash around Syracuse. Meaning, either somebody bought it, moved out, left it there. Stole it. Maybe. You never know. Or I gave it
That's
away for
crazy.
free while I was fucked up. And then they were like, yeah, I don't really want this 6-penis demon monster in my house. I kind of like, I'm going to grad school. I can't really have this, I'm just like, whew. But there's people that are found, my friend Mike Barletta, he said he has like 5 or 6 of my paintings in his storage room that were just left somewhere. I have no idea, not even a clue what they could look like. Not even there is no part of my mind that could know what they look like.
Yeah.
He said they're big, they're made out of trash.
Mm.
He's like, if you ever want them, I'm like, I totally do, but that was a lie because I don't want to put them in my house.
You want that.
You know, it's like, who knows what's on them now?
Yeah. No, and I got my, I don't know, I was like sorely disappointed about like, you know, I guess just the way that like art with a capital letter works after having moved to New York. You know what I mean? From
Yeah.
up here, being up here for so long and then moving to New York and then, you know, thinking that like that's what's gonna get you somewhere, you know, seeing like just the decadence and the waste and the like, it's just everything is just so high up and it's like people keeping like, you know, keeping it away from the common man, you know, like they're treating it as this thing that is like so inaccessible to the point where I just like, I lost it, you know, like I just started literally leaving my pieces in places, you know, like I would make pieces just so that people could
Just to
find
leave
them.
out somewhere, yeah.
You know, and it was just like that was the satisfaction that I got. It wasn't about the satisfaction of necessarily selling something and earning money from it. You know, like that was another thing. You know, like okay, this somebody finds monetary value in my work. All right, cool, that's awesome. But you know, like I'd rather turn this into an adventure. You know, and actually go out on foot and you know not get in trouble necessarily. And
No,
just,
not really.
you know,
Like,
and
yeah,
just,
you're
like,
not really doing anything
putting
bad.
you're putting if anything you get littering.
You're littering.
You're littering.
You're
you know,
littering with your
with your
fucking
own
art.
self-expression.
They're like,
but,
This is New York.
but you know, even that you got to be careful with that too, because you know everybody's got their opinion, everybody's got their.
Oh, I wouldn't fit in,
Whatever.
and it's okay. And you know what? Honestly, like I kind of like, I don't know. I just like having a job, and I come home from work, and I work my paintings. I don't need to like, I don't know. It's cool to have art shows. Like I love it, and I love preparing for an art show, and I work really hard on it.
Yeah.
But it's never probably going to be in New York or any like relevant place. But it is in Syracuse, and when people go to my art shows, they're happy. Like
Yeah.
they're happy they
that's what it's all
went,
about.
and it's like a cool thing that happened. You know, so I feel like I'm doing good for the place where I live,
Mhm.
and I think that's, you know, that's a noble kind of thing. You know, I think I stoke out the kids get stoked when they see it. Like I think some of the new kids coming up are going to go into the arts possibly because they always ask me questions about drawing, and I'm like, take an art class at your school. I'm sure it's not even like mandatory anymore, but like see if someone has a colored pencil somewhere. You know, like
Yeah.
I don't even know what they do in schools.
And that too, it's also about influence. You know, it's like positive influence.
Positive
It's
influence.
Negative influence. I think like, you know, anybody can be an influencer. You know, or
Mhm.
it could be neutral, be positive or negative. You know, I just rather, I guess, make an attempt to be a positive influence. You know, like stoke somebody out to like make something look better than it was before, as opposed to like shitty.
You know,
You know, just like
I always tell them, get a sketchbook.
yeah, get a
Do your
sketchbook.
drawings.